there was a system that I had to mediate it and said, I don't have a choice. It's an order, and you have to do it. So, but before we have two panelists here, each of them is going to take one aspect at a time, that is the past, represented by the custodian of our history. Because he knew how everything started. So the convention report is that he is going to be the champion the past. The present already mentioned if you see him, and it's one of my colleagues used to say, I should be calling him Chino because he came in America before me. I said, okay. But I told him that I have so many seniors, so it's not exclusive to him. So the future will be taken over by already he is we are capturing. So he is one of the professionalism within the community. But before we start, I want us to say a prayer that the review of which we pray recently, that is the elders, we are praying fervently that the event of recent past we pray to Almighty God that we do want it. And because we are ready, we do ever think that any of you that are younger than us should just just taking a rule like that, the forces that is beyond human control. Color Cuba fi origin, color South Africa, Bani Chapi, and Color Cuba, I brought to the Jackie Kokoni, Petition, It's about talking about his journey around the community workshop was presented to the elder story or was suggested that participation here today. You can talk with him of this meeting today. We believe that we have a story to tell to the community. Because it fits very well for someone in university. This community are so resilient, and with the blessing of Almighty Allah, we are through so many adversity and we still continue growing. if record will take me, we're going to talk about the past for the period of 1981 to 1999, and then Brother Amination will talk from 1999 till the present time, 2000 till the present time, and we're going to have the opportunity of listening to Brother Larry Lawal on what we considered the dream and the plan for the future. Getting it started, when we started this in 1981, the purpose, basically, as you can see, okay, please help me to put it here. You are not cooking enough for me. Unless your wire is not that one. Thank you. Just show me what I press so we can get it going. What do I press? Okay, good. Okay, the past. What is the initial purpose and goal of us coming together? Because you have to understand, we started as individuals. When somebody, and what we are trying to do is that at that time, majority of us, we don't even know each other. We didn't even realize that we have that many Muslims in the community. How do you get involved is that the first thing that we are doing with each other is when you have a child, we come to your house, maybe we gather 3 of your friends, we come by, we come to name your baby. Out of the people that you gathered, we will run into another Muslim. And you want to be your Muslim, and when somebody else have a baby, we will package ourselves, call the other one that you've met before, and we go to the next person's house. We don't name the baby. We did this from 1981 to like 1983, 84. Before we realized that, many of us, either we married a Christian, and we don't want to go to church with them. Therefore, we have to do something. Even when we name the kids now, you realize that your wife at that time is ready to name the kids another Christian name. That's one of the challenges of those times. Along the line, we started getting to know each other to the Muslim. At that point, for that Fatai Kadigo, which many of you may not know now, used to be the one that spearheaded our meeting. If you look at the average age of many of us then, you see us around 25, 26, 27. And that is the age that is missing from this community now in doing a lot of planning. Therefore, for our leaders, please take note of that. From getting that one started, we started bringing ourselves together to say, okay, you know what? We will be meeting in each other's house every Sunday to do a Salatul Iskariya. Every Sunday, we will go to each other's house. Thank you, the technicians. Every Sunday night, we will go to each other's house to have a Salatul Iskariya. The person that we went to his house will cater for us, we will eat, which is something resemblance to what you are doing nowadays in the afternoon that you call the hangout. We will have the hangout in the person's house. We may be there till like 5 p.m. That's how we will enjoy the day. After a while, we started taking our wife and the kids. And then we're having small kids because your wife don't want for you to drop the kid at home, so they won't be overworked. Take your kid with you. We will take the kids into this Salatul Iskariya and the hangout that we're having with our friends. We did from 1983 through to 1984-85, and then we realized that we're getting to have numbers. To real numbers of them may not be numbers of today, because by the time we get to be like 12, 13, 14, going to somebody's houses with one child or two, that house is already filled. Therefore, we have to think of what are the other things we can do. We started contributing very well among ourselves. Therefore, we rented a one-bedroom apartment. And the one-bedroom apartment, we have that time. It's located right there. What a place that, is on Beach Nut. They call it, what is the name of the Fall on Beach Nut. That's the name of the place now. I believe that particular apartment has gone through so many names. That none of us remember the name of that apartment when we got that one bedroom. Huh? What? Kingsgate Apartment. Kingsgate Apartment is the name of that apartment in 1984 when we got it. And what we do is to meet there every Sunday, so that we'll be there, we'll have our Salatul Iskariat, we'll have the Zoo prayer, we'll hang around, we'll have the Ashby prayer, and we'll get it going. After a while, we started to increase in numbers through the word of mouth. The challenges of that period in particular is that Islam is not well embraced. When you come in there, you come in your shirt and trousers, and then when you get there is when you not put on your jalabia. Because it's not well known at that time. And you have to understand that the immigration at that time is really limited to students. The majority of us, we are students, we came with student visa. Our money that we made is from odd job, non-skilled jobs. Still, you see those challenges being met by people so dedicated to see that they want to see an Islam grow during this period. Other challenges that we had during that time is that we moved from that place to rent a place at Sidagap. There's some good money. Sidagap is a 3-bedroom house because by then we're having more brothers coming in, bringing their wife. We get to a point where we think that, that one bedroom is too small for us. We moved to Cedar Gap now. At Cedar Gap, it's a 3-bedroom house that we are renting. At that time, we have the challenges at Cedar Gap that only on Sunday is when we will meet there. And the whole neighborhood will be full of our cars. And number one, and it's all family, we totally down in the one time. They don't want us there. So I say, Imam, what made you come back? And he gave a profound statement to me. He said, when things push you to a corner, and there are some other factors that make what you are doing acceptable to Almighty Allah, we don't have choice but to overlook the other shortcomings. To overlook the shortcomings of you guys having this place on a mortgage, that you are doing your best to propagate an Islam. Not that I support you to have it a mortgage, but I still believe that, you know what, as soon as you can push yourself to get out of here, the better it will be. And that lesson still stayed with us till today. We're going to have challenges. We're going to be tempted. We're going to have ways that we can overcome it. But you have to understand also that this is one of the items that even fragmented this community, because right after that, we got another land that seems so attractive that we need to buy. And that land also is going to be where we took loan and fragmented the community. Some people said, well, instead of you taking loan, you're not going to be part of Masjid-ul. Some people left. We'll try as much as possible to see whether we can raise funds to pay for that property as soon as possible. It was impossible. We use it for a while. And that's during that time is when we work diligently to raise funds. The lesson of fundraising for this community that I need to address is that we are not still doing the best of job with it. I will leave that one for another presenter. Okay, as I've said, as you can see, what are the challenges we had that time that we still having up to this time, notwithstanding that we've done a tremendous job of that, is that funding is still, it's still an issue, it's still a challenge for us. This masjid, we've grown from being just school children to professionals, to where we have among ourselves people that are doing very well, but they believe that their contribution to the masjid should be limited. It will take us making all sorts of creative ways, challenging each other to contribute, and it will not be so. It should not be so. Other challenges that we have in the past that we're still having up to now is attracting members. Attracting members. We have problems with it in the past, we still do. When we get to where we need to address the solutions to this, we will revisit that. Still understand that, at that time, most of our members are foreigners. Not many of us have the papers to work. For those that have the paper to work, we rely so much on them. And we are just limited. By 1990, what really helped us at one point is that we have the amnesty that came through in 1988. Many of us started having the papers. We started getting better jobs. We started working in the industry. People now, contribution gets better. And that's what leads to how we are able to raise money to buy the land here. And with the help of many people with foresight, and that resiliency. And remember, when we served on one of the committees early, after we bought this land sat for another 4 or 5 years, trying to raise the funds so we can build it. And we sat with the committee at that time trying to raise the money to build it. I have to call those committee a dream team, because I have people sitting in there, they have a lot of big dream for this masjid. And we were able to take it away from this, and we move on to building it and coming here, and we realize within 1 or 2, 3 years, which somebody else will talk about, we realize that this place is even smaller for us. We have to get into expanding the masjid to the size that it is right now. It was not as big as this. We extended it. And those are the type of challenges that we've seen in these masjids. financing for our new land, we will revisit that one. Right now, as many of you know, we have an 11.5 acres not too far from here. To all of you, including Brother Shire, of blessed memory that we have lost, all your effort in humanity and land reward you abundantly because you all have done super well. I will pass on the microphone to the next speaker to talk about what we've seen in the last 20 years, the growth we've seen in the Masjid and the leadership that we've gone through. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'll be talking mostly about the transformations starting leadership for the Masjid-ul expanded mostly. The leadership for Masjid-ul expanded mostly because of the recognitions from everybody world about the word of mouth. People coming from New and then whether you are in New York, anywhere you are, and say, oh, you are in this thing, you get to listen. There's a place called Masjid-ul. That's one of those things that expanded Masjid-ul about the membership. Also, the transformation about this disposable income. When we first got here, like my brother said, like before I came in, I only had a BS in our commission from Israel. But I can never say that come application. Even like we are not used my Islamic name, we are supposed to call me, do. You dare, like I said, you dare not to hear anything. You do that, you are not back home. But along the line, journalism came in, another thing of transformation started. Especially when the amnesty came in and the new movements coming in, they're coming in with what they call visa lottery. They are all educated, they have their papers, so they can easily and boldly go to any workforce and say, having a good job. This is part of the reasons, is one of the ways that our community started growing. Also, as we grew, we have a small shot. We become more small shot in our ability. From 2000, my father, Dr. Abu was the president. From here came Brother Zechariah, Sule, Brother Mashah. After Brother Mashah, we have Brother Abubakar, Dr. Abid, Mr. Brother Shakir, and then I always allow the person to use water. What will I apologize for the beginning? I was suffering from 2000. I was suffering from 2000. I will never oversight. Because I'm scared and it's not carrying. After the executive, we have the Shura that we have the auspice of Dr. Adeshoku. We see the board of directors, including my father, Dr. And talk a little bit about Dr. because I just want to diverse a little bit. Of understanding anything he says for me is a no, because he knows everybody I'm like a baby in the phone. I know everything Dr. Amin says no, because he has a way of doing it too. So I understand that there are only people who will never say no to in our community, but because like I said before, I'm scared of his local. Now, to talk about the US community programs, we have the TTY. TTY is like the longest growing program we have. I think we started in the early 80s. That's 80s, because we are doing it at late 80s, late 80s. So when starts children with. Also, we have the NBC growing classes in the platform. Now, quickly, because everything will go to the evening set. A lot of people are interpreted and are contributing a lot. I will not mention names, but the video says, I will only mention the brother, my boss, as I call him, brother Shalom. We align with the business, explain his grief, and we got into it, Charles. Every time I see you, it's so, Obama, it's just a mark of in the capital assets, we have already said is about the growth of the community and also about the acres that we have. I will pass on to Dr. Wawu to explain the education boost. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much, from bringing us to the present. Also, I want to thank Alaji Lawal for his insightful historical facts and the details of the storm that we've weathered to bring us to this point. My praise goes out to all who have contributed to making the dreams of yesterday become today's reality. I will venture to say that by any standard of measurement, our community has been very successful. I commend the efforts of our community at large. All the officials that have ever held a position in our community and well-wishers of our community. No matter how much we tried, no matter how much we worked hard, we couldn't have been successful without the blessings of Almighty Allah. To this I say, Alhamdulillah, 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 Rabbi Alameen. On my first slide, let's see, yeah, that is the first slide. Yeah, thank you. No, I don't know how to do it. I'm a senior citizen. Just, let's, somebody else can help me with that. Now, I'll just let you know when it's time for the next slide to come up. Okay, thank you very much. Our future looks great. Your law program says, we are Yeshimari, we are blessed with capable hands and minds that can carry us to the next level. I call them the bridge builders. They have connected our past to the present, and I'm sure they are capable of linking us to the future. One cautionary statement I would like to make at this point is that we must not dwell on past glory. We can't afford to dwell on past glory. We've done a whole lot in the community, But dwelling on past glory means we will be complacent, and also this can retard our progress. In planning for the future, we must never lose track of the original goal of our founders, which is to create a peaceful environment where Muslims can worship freely and get their spiritual needs met. Okay. Thank you. Next slide, please. Okay. The next slide is the growth. Okay.
I'm the longest.
Ẹ ṣe sùúrù. Wọ́n kì í bìkọ́jú lábẹ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n náà tó bá tutù omi nígbàdí ẹ̀ ṣáàjà àmàgàgbọ̀ ọlọ́mọgàgbọ̀. So, in planning for the future, I've said that we should lose track of the goals of our founders. Because, the real goal is, to create a peaceful environment where Muslims can worship freely and get their spiritual needs. We must also hold on tightly to one of the valid verses in Surah Al-Fatiha, which says, "Read Surah Al-Mustaqim." Almighty Allah is the only one that can show us the way. And learn about life according to the word of God. Next slide. The key word for keeping the dream alive is growth. And when we talk about growth, we have two parts to it. We have the progress maintenance. Progress maintenance include maintaining our facilities, maintaining our environment, and also maintaining our financial status. The second part to it is advancement, being receptive to new ideas. If we fail to accommodate new ideas, then what happens? We will just be spinning our wheels. And this will result in nothing but stagnation. Next slide, please. To grow, everybody in the community must be involved and must function to the maximum of their abilities. From what we are looking at the top we have the community. Then branching out from the community we have leaders, and then we have members. Now, this is a very fluid situation. If you see the arrow pointing from the leader to the members and then going vice versa. Leadership is not a place where you go and stay for the rest of your life. It's a privilege. It's an honor that the community, bestowed on you. And after serving in whatever capacity, you return to just be a floor member. So a floor member can become a leader, and a leader can also revert back to a floor member. That doesn't mean a demotion or promotion. We are just all functioning together. Now, to be any one of these two groups, you have to be a creative thinker. And to be a creative thinker, you have to have some skills, which is listed there. Communication. You have to be able to listen and ask the right questions. Especially when you are meetings, you need to be up on the task. The next one is you have to be open-minded. Thinking of things that no one else has considered before. That is just simply thinking out of the box. Also, you have to organize your thinking. You have to have a structured plan of action and a clear goal. Also, you have to be a problem solver. That is the ability to solve important issues. Lastly, you have to be analytical. the ability to break down issues for careful processing. Next slide, please. Okay, now, from this slide, yeah, we got it. Okay, this slide is showing us, how we have moved from being a unigenerational group to a multi-generational community. The whole thing started with some foreign students. These are people who came in as students, some of them may be on visiting visa, but largely they are mostly of the same age group, and they have similar background. So they were functioning as a unigenerational group, but gradually, things started evolving, and we have fathers, we have mothers, children, and grandchildren. So we have moved through generations here. We have the first generation, second generation, and the third generation. Now, talking about unigenerational group, the process of evolving is basically, in those days, when you have your wife, from Nigeria coming to join you here in the United States, that used to be a very big deal. You celebrate it, you celebrate, and, so because most of us are just, bachelors, you just kind of, happy for that person. And then, we moved on to the second level when we started having children. So, that's what started, how do we name the children, and, things started coming into being. So, we moved away from naming ceremony, and then they started the kindergarten graduation. That's my first time of seeing that. I've never seen where you take a 5-year-old and put graduation down on them and say they are graduating. I said, wow, this is something else. And somebody told me, you haven't seen anything. You haven't seen anything. They went to limousine to go to prom. I said, no, you need to come to my school. All you do is you do concert at night. So as we continue to grow as Muslims here, we are learning about the culture. So we want to be a multi-generational group. Now, as we get older in the community, our role changes. I believe that is what led to the creation of Masjid-ul Elders Forum, which I respectfully refer to as the Senior Citizen Center. Our main goal of Senior Citizen Center is to provide guidance to the community. President Ronald Reagan once said, if not for the elders correcting the mistakes of the youth, there will be no state. That is very true. But while this is true, we need to keep in mind that the elders does not have monopoly over wisdom. We don't have monopoly over wisdom. Yoruba proverb says, there are so many youths in our community with great wisdom and knowledge. We must encourage them. We must motivate them. And we must inspire them to use their talents beneficially for the community. Next slide, please. Now that we have the issue of dealing with a generational community, a multi-generational community, we must go beyond being a creative thinker. We need to move towards being a generational thinker. And when you say a generational thinker, the meaning of that is a creative thinker who sows seeds for the future generation. Warren Buffett said, someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. So some people have invested in the community, they build it, and we are enjoying it today, and we should be doing the same for the future generation. It is not what you do or fail to do today. It is what you do, it is what we do or fail to do today that makes our future. We must look and think beyond ourselves. We must create our own legacy by caring for others. And as other speakers have said, they mentioned our dear brother, Shire, which is about very pregnancy. We really valued his legacy. That is what, is part of what we're enjoying today. So, let us all follow his footsteps and do something to benefit our community so that in the end, we will say, you came and we saw Almighty Allah through our gates. Let me see. I'm getting emotional here. Let me get myself together, please. Yeah, okay. The generation, I'm talking about the generational thinker still. We can keep this live. Generational thinker, as a generational thinker, you have to, expect generational diversity. And we have to include all levels of our generation. We must include wide range of our generation in our undertakings. Each generation sees the world very differently. And with generational diversity comes generational conflict. The original conflict is not a bad thing. It happens because we see things differently from the way our children sees it. And so, whenever it comes up, we have to acknowledge the differences. We have to respect the differences and try to find the common ground. That is the way to go forward. Next slide, please. The next slide is challenges that we have, that we probably are having and that we will have in the future. I call it task for the immediate future. We've said that before. I think Alaji said something about it, that recruiting new members is a challenge that we have now, and in the near future we'll still have it. Masjid-ul used to be the comedy show in town for a long time. Everybody came to Masjid to pray, but gradually things started changing. The light of Ansarudin, Masfat, and other Masjid started springing up. So this means we must reach out, to recruit members. We cannot rest on our oars. The way I look at it is, if companies like Coca-Cola still advertise, even though they've cornered the market, but they still advertise. So we need to do a better job in selling our community so that we can attract new members. Number two is the financial dimension. The financial dimension, we have the internal source of generating funds, which we are doing a relatively good job, but we can do better in raising money amongst ourselves. we have the external source, which we need to do a better job on, reaching out, to different communities and, private entities around the world, including Nigeria. Governmental source. We need to do a better job in, getting grants and other governmental support. We need to involve professional grant writers to help us out so that we can secure these resources. The third thing is data collection, which I call census. We still have a long way to go in this area. If I ask anybody now, what is the exact number of our members in this community, I don't think too many people will be able to tell me. We need to keep better records. We need to be able to kind of have statistics on our people, so that we can have the breakdown according to gender, according to age, because these things will become very useful whenever you started, whenever you actively go after governmental resources. We need to do more in keeping track of people who attend Eid. We need to do more in trying to have a good count of people who attend Jumat. And those kind of things. So, next slide, please. To conclude, I will just say, the Almighty Allah continue to bless Masjid-ul and make our tomorrow better than today. We pray that Almighty Allah guide us to the right path and not to the path of those who are going astray. Assalamu alaikum. I will need somebody, Abdulaziz, if you can help out with
With the microphone, we enter into
your questions and then
they're bringing the microphone to you.
yes. Okay. Okay, this Dr. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I really want to thank our elders for the presentation. May Almighty Allah continue to bless you all. May Allah continue to keep your feet firm on the path of righteousness. May Allah give you long lives. May Allah accept all the efforts you have put in getting this community to where it is. With the passage of time is the passage of everything. With the passage of time is the passage of everything. Our elders at the time, they were like us, young, vibrant, energetic. Now they are gradually getting to the end of where they're going to give the baton to us. And that is what they are trying to tell us today. For those of us that has really studied the pathway of this community, we will know that our elders have done very well. And we pray to Almighty Allah to accept every effort. We have not gotten to our destination and we still need your help. If one has built a palace today, tomorrow it will become a place where goats and rats will take over and rest. Tomorrow, if you've gotten the best of sin, tomorrow it will become something of history. If you have so much knowledge today, tomorrow is going to become obsolete. For those that have really been close to me, we know that we come across everything. Spirituality, volunteerism, in so many ways we could describe them. But Allah has taken me away. About a week ago at this same time, he was trying to connect to spiritual men alaka because he was doing that from time to time. But unfortunately, we started having the on-site. The reason I'm saying this little comment is because we need to know that whatever we are today, it's going to become history. And whatever we're able to do today, it is what people will talk about. What our elders have done, we will continue to talk about it even when they are no more. And what they are trying to tell us today is that we have to start putting succession strategy in place. Because you keep seeing me having bald head all the time. It is because if I don't shave my head every 2 weeks, it's going to be all the gray hair will come out. And the more I shave, the more gray hair will come out. Some of us in our mid-40s, close to 60, we are trying to make sure that succession gap, we do everything possible to make sure that something is done to take care of it. But we feel it our elders to make sure that gap is filled in 3 areas. Some of your kids have been married, but quite unfortunately, they've been married to non-Nigerians that have taken them to their communities. Now that gap is devoid. We can't get them back. Some are in the process of getting married. As elders, what are we doing to make sure they get married within this community so that they will be taken away as well? And when it comes to spirituality as well, we see that gap. We want to tell some of our elders, Baba, Daddy Ayodele, Daddy Shumade, Dr. Aman, Baba Odubayo, Uncle J, and all others. We do attend some of the spiritual programs that we have. Men Alaka, Family Alaka, and what have you. They try to gain more knowledge so that at least perhaps when they have some of their kids who have been married with their grandkids coming around, they might have 1 or 2 lessons that they want to share with them. Because it will go a long way. You don't have to be Ali, you don't have to be big imam. But whatever imam is able to discuss in Alaka when it comes to the essence of family building in Islam, these are 3 essential points. They can relate with that and pass it on to their kids and their grandkids, and it will last forever. So the point I'm trying to get is we need to make sure that you try to build that spiritual connection with Allah, especially at this time. Never can tell. Whatever knowledge you're able to get, you can still pass it on. So for some of us that in our middle ages, our kids are probably leaving colleges, they're about to get married. We can still take care of that business. Yes, take care of that business, but at least these 3 areas, the spiritual connection, we want you to put more power into that. Those of your kids that have been married, how can we make sure at least we have an annual program that will still connect them to this community? We still need their money, and we can do well with that. We want to Allah spare our lives and continue to keep the fish farms from the part of giving. Thanks for the question and thanks for the admonition. Let's take this moment to answer those questions. We are still trying as elders from even in our own household. We will continue to try. It's a struggle because you have to understand when we're talking about in our presentation, we mentioned to you about our ability to creative think. We were busy trying to build the community, and many of us we did not build our home. It is very unfortunate, but that is just the honest truth. Because nowadays, many of these places that we all come to now is already been established. Therefore, you have the opportunity to carry with you your child. At the time that we were building it, we were more concerned about recruiting people from outside, and it's okay with our children to run anywhere that they want to. I understand also one of the problems, and it's not an excuse, is that if you go back and look at many of us that started this place, it's only few that they were able to convert their wives to Muslim. Many of us were married from Christian homes. It's not an excuse, and that's why I'm really very happy for the new generation coming after us. And that's why I'm so happy every time to share our own lessons with others so they will not make the same mistake that we have made. That's to answer your first question. The second question, how do we build the community? We have built the community. Alágbèéná ti bímọ, ó ti bímọ, àìmọ́jú ẹ̀wọ̀n nílé kù sí. Because we made it a very challenge for us when we started relinquishing the leadership of the masjid to the younger generation. We deliberately did that. We had to advise the people like Dr. Rahman to say, you know what? Let people like Marshall, when we came in, let's make sure we don't get to hold executive position anymore because we need to build succession plan. And when we look at it, the group, the 40s, the 50s, 40s, they're doing a wonderful job. Wonderful job, and I commend them. Effort of ours like this to recruit the late 30s to the 20s is failed. They're too overwhelmed with one child. And when we raise 5 children and we still come to this masjid. And I can remember one of my kids who had 2 children came to sit with me and say, how did you do it? Understand, in my own case, I was a single father for 10 years after their mother passed in this masjid. And you can tell, and I have to tell him that, that's why I'm retarded now, because I don't know any other answer. Therefore, what is my advice to those of you who are coming next to us is let's make it our duty to reach out to the younger one. That is why the topic coming from my brother, Dr. Larry Nawal, is talking about being a generational thinker. We quick to condemn some of these kids instead of encouraging them. And that one is more common among our mothers. I wish they are invited to this meeting and we can be able to share the thought with them. When some of these kids showed up in the masjid, either they wear trousers or they do some blessing, we still encourage them at least to come in first. When our kids come with the hearing, leave his hearing in his ear. This is here, not yours. At least let them come into the masjid. Some of them, they do super well, but they believe that we are too judgmental in our approach and they don't want to come near us. Then who are we building all this physical structure for when we don't build them very well? As we have said, we've done well, but there are still plenty of room for us to do. Our role as elders is to continue serving one way or the other in any position you created for us. But this is for you. We will continue to give you our blue papers. That is our recommendation. We call it blue papers among us, among the others. Let's give them a blue paper. We will continue to acknowledge you where you've seen some things being done. We're having a dinner for you just for us to show our appreciation to you, and one is coming up very soon. We didn't invite the whole masjid. We believe we invite the pace setters to join us for us to show them our appreciation. But that's what we can do. Every little we can do, we do. We are still recruiting, even to our own side, because we see some of you. You may not be the age, but you've proven yourself to be elders. We need so many differences in the community. And we want people with knowledge so we can all sit down together and rub minds. So we can be in position to serve the community. And the third question that you ask, that we need to do more. I agree with you that we have to define which area you want us to do more. What we have initiated, and we get people asking us, how did you do it? We have so many Islamic community that the people that have been running the show since when they started are still the same people running the show. And at the same time, they want to bring new ideas. How can they bring new ideas when they are not ready to relinquish to the new generation? evaluation. I will allow other panelists to make a comment.
Thank you. Dr. Ibrahim, thank you for what you mentioned. Basically, you're saying that the community still needs the elders, and the elders still need the community. And we want us to be, to show up in, events, Hurricane on Sunday, and just, to present. We want to see our presence. So we take that as a feedback, and we will do better. We'll talk about it in our meetings, and just point us where we need to be to make it possible. Basically, I'm sorry for what I know if you getting down with the so
your question.
Yeah, before you ask your question, people, Salaam alaikum. Yeah, you see, I'm just going to add a few things to what AJ said. Committee of Friends, if you, I want you to attention now, if you observe very well, the rate I have been trained, because you really see my face, you really see my actions, is the others that has been sending me. We want you to be really structured, to really focus on holding on to the will of this community. Whatever it takes to build this community, we are beholding. But what we won't go by is insolence. That is, no, it shouldn't be so. There was a time not too distant, a future, I called Abdulkadir. Yes, Abdulkadir, if you remember, I gathered some of you. I had a meeting with them here. Please come to our friends, liaise with this, not this group. Liaise with this group so that this group can hold on to those ones that are joining the MBF now, those small guys that we saw at the camp earlier yesterday. So that the chain of succession is not broken. So
Brother Akin, your question is already out before somebody checked you, and let me answer that question. All I'm going to ask you, if you finish watching Imam's video, one thing that is stressing there is patience. Things, when the time arrives for things to happen, it will happen. You will continue to do all the good deeds you are doing. They will come to beg you to be recognized. That's what I tell people from the inception of this masjid. Only listen. Tí wọ́n bá ṣe ètò yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, àwọn èèyàn máa wá fowó bẹ̀ mí. You just continue doing what you know how to do well, and people will come to seek you out. That's what my answer will be. The next question.
What I like is for us to get some action item from the presentation that we have today. So I don't want a situation where we're passing blames or saying somebody should have done. What has been done to date now is what has been decreed by Allah. We are just fortunate to have been used one way or the other, to have been part of it. Now we have a chance to write the next chapter. We can now be part of it. But one of the things I think I want to get from what you've done for us today is we have to start documenting our history. We have to start, because what we had today is history. And history is part of what is required going forward. We will not, it is not that I am making a course, we will never be able to gather exactly all of us in this room together in 5 years. No matter how much we pray, Kolomajari, Tele, and the rest of it, we will not be exactly the same in 5 years. There will be news that somebody has passed away because this is the decree of Allah. So it could be any one of us. But one of the things we can do is any one of us who have a history of Masjid-ul, can we have a repository where we can put that? Can we put a structure around, start constructing a museum of Masjid-ul? It could be a small room that will just put as many of the pictures as possible, so that we now have a curator appointed by the executive, maybe reporting to the Shura or whoever we all agree to do it, and we start collecting our history. We went yesterday for the camp. We took a lot of pictures in private phones of different people. Some of those pictures should be sent to a particular location where it is there, and a chance one day a child will want to just look at it and get inspired. May Allah make it easy for us. So let that be one takeaway from this gathering today, so that we'll be able to say it started from today.
Thank you so much, Brother Zabur. The assignment you've said, you put about 2 assignments on the table. The first one, we want to see the action item of what our presentation is. God's willing, we will make it available to the executives in about 2 weeks from today. What are the action items we think needs to be done? And as far as the getting the issue of the masjid together, I can tell you, during Salah's administration, there is an archive that was developed. That is one has to do mostly with activities that has to do with the masjid and that has to do with the building. If you want for that to be where we put it, or where you want to get somebody to be in charge of that, we will all look through our pictures at home and see, we can do some write-up, so it will be somewhere. That one will have to be an ongoing process. But your action, your suggestion is really welcome. Thank you.
So, all right. Yeah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, I'm very fortunate to meet our elders discussing with us. So we pray to Allah to grant you long lives and on a lighter note, I think we need to get to the roots of Ronald Reagan that Dr. Lali Lawal quoted. So because I think he stole some of our proverbs. You mentioned that he said, "Equal for the headers, correcting the mistakes of the youths, so there will be no state," right? Am I correct, sir? And the Bible say, "Agbẹ̀rẹ̀ àlẹ́jà kí orí ọmọ tuntun kó wọ̀." Akayam Kalaro. We need to go Baba Futunade to my city at the Alhamdulillah, the others they have done well. I'm going to be good, and the others they have done well. So we pray to Allah to reward you abundantly, and as elders will always say, so to Omokanalo Veloci again. Now we got to give out everything without me right to use that. So, mashallah, I just wanted to appreciate you, but I need you to give us a blueprint that you use in crisis management. So àlè ní orí tútù àtọ́rí gbígbẹ kí àwọn nǹkan kan kó wà ṣẹlẹ̀. So what are those things so that you put in place that you are able to successfully manage the crisis within the community? Yeah, just have to work around. I mean, if time permits,
Just 2 minutes. The question that came from you is how did we, during those periods, how did we manage crisis? I can tell you that we didn't do a good job of it than what I'm saying today. However, for somebody like me who has been involved for so long, I noticed that there are 3 things that really are very helpful. Number 1 is communication, to have a listening ear. We have the tendency in this community for 3 people to be fighting about their argument, and all the 3 of them are saying the same thing. And they're just not listening to themselves. That one is very prevalent. Number 2, timing. Believe me, kò sí nǹkan tó lè tí ń rọ̀, ìbọn ìyàgá. We tend to believe that ìgbà tá à ń sọ yẹn a gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe wàhálà lómi tó máa bínú jáde tí ò ní padà. Àní nǹkan tó bínú jáde nítorí èdè máa ṣẹlẹ̀ tí ò dẹ̀ sí nǹkan tó lè ṣe síbi tó sá lọ. And the last one is patience. Let's understand that níbi tí gbogbo àjòkó sí yìí, we have a very the same common goal. That's why we are sitting here. The common goal is to do what? To propagate an Islam and do it well. Èyí ló gbé wa jókòó síbí. Àwọn kan máa sáré débẹ̀, àwọn kan máa rìn débẹ̀, àwọn kan máa wá débẹ̀. We are going to get there at different level. And our understanding is going to be at different level. Whatever only will sáré, do your competition with compassion. Tó bá sáré déwájú díẹ̀, lójú rẹ̀ nǹkan àwọn tó ń bọ̀. Èyí tó bá lè gbé dání padà sẹ́yìn kó lọ gbé dání. Go back and carry your brother with you. Pé sílé ọ̀rọ̀ ká sọ lọ́sàn-án ìmá bínú bílẹ̀ ìfẹ́ kó bínú lórí ẹ̀. Ibi tí mo lọ gbọ̀ngàn mi, do that. Má pè lọ́dọ̀ oníṣẹ́bẹ̀ ibi tó yẹ ilé ìgbà yẹn ni. And we need to watch out for our language. Let our language be full of respect for each other, because we are all going in the same direction. Ẹni tí ò bá wa lọ direction kan náà sí bí. These are the 3 things that I'm going to beg you this morning that can really solve so many problems in this community. Thank you. Well, that's a very good question. In those days, we had our differences. As a matter of fact, you remember Kolido àti Sunday, wọ́n ju kọ́kọ́rọ́ fún àwọn yẹn lọ kọ́kọ́rọ́ náà yẹn ó tó ti àwọn jánítọ̀ ó dúró ju kọ́kọ́rọ́ fún yẹn. It became a very big thing, but what we had at that time was sùúrù. We had patience with each other. We disagree, and then come around again, and then talk about it, and then just try to resolve it. So patience is one of the main ingredients that we use in those days, and we still applicable today. I think the problem today is more challenging because of the generational differences that I've mentioned, especially with our children, we're trying to get the younger ones to come in, but some of the resistance is that, don't cut out so we understand. You understand our goal, you understand. So, I'm trying to understand you. So, I think accommodating the thoughts of each other and the thoughts of the younger generation will take us a long way. And we just need to have patience to it. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. I would just say respect. Assalamu alaikum. I really appreciate and commend all the this is my first time seeing listening to the history of the Masjid. I have when we are going through the very deep historical journey about Monetize. I want to know how to come about Monetize. Is it the alcohol, the new ceremony, or the one house they went, apartment they went, is that where they do Monetize as a Muslim? And really the first presidents of this Masjid, and all the past presidents, they didn't mention their years. I didn't know the years of. Okay, and that question, I'm going to move to one of our curators to answer your question, and that Dr. Rahman. Dr. Rahman.
I'm looking at our answer question because that's a very beautiful question. 2 or 3 questions you made that in there.
Alhamdulillah. Let me first say something here. The history of the meeting, I know we are timing me. Okay, thank you. The history of this Masjid is not a thing that we can do in 2 or 3 hours. And inshallah, Brother Mr. Ugo, thank you so much for your question. We will put together an historical perspective of how the was founded and up to this moment, inshallah. Because I was talking to him years ago that we need to have an archive of how we started and where we are now. Alhamdulillah, to the founding members and to the present generation here. We thank Allah for making it possible for us to see today. The first question is that the name of Mumini, as part of what I'm saying, the historical perspective of what we're going to put together, inshallah, may Allah spare our life, it's going to show. So we have challenges. Even many in this place, Mumini. We want to name the name of the old one, we want to name the Al-Rahman or so, but collectively, what we use at time is a strategy which I call on my own intellectual revolution. Okay? This is going to come up when we are putting all these things together. We have deliberated left and right. OJ told you when we do things, we may have differences, we have challenges. But eventually, we come together as a group to name this place Masjid-ul. Before then, sorry, it was Islamic. Yeah, it's the Islamic. Before then, we go Nigerian, Islamic, suffering time, whatever that we do. But progressively, through restructuring, that we need to follow the Sunnah and follow the Holy Quran, the Sunnah, we eventually change the means, and that's why we come to this name. Does that answer your question, sir? Okay, the next one. What is the next one? The first president, Alhamdulillah. This is really, Boraserik is the first president. Abiola, second president. The first president is Boraserik. Just like, okay, let's give me, how's it doing? I thank you, sir. Let me try to round up my speech here quickly. Oldie mentioned something about putting things together. As I've said, we're going to have all this put together, maybe in a half or whatever we need to do, inshallah. There's a lot to do about restructuring and everything during that particular time. But as Seriki, after 2 years of moving around, registered this our association in 1983. He was the first president. as a Nigerian national institution. Okay? If we are there too, gradually we register me. I've been living 1998 as is registered, TTR registered. Another group should be registered too. So, the second president was Mr. Agbola, Utu Agbola. Okay? Then a fellow guy, myself, my president. And we have a brother Suleiman, yeah, Sifu Sule, we have brother Masha sitting down there, taking up from brother Suleiman. Then we have a brother Radi, right? Right? We have a very good. Then we have a brother Abubakar. Then followed by Dr. Abi. Then we have a brother Shakir Olakuko. Then we have brother Salah, the governor. And now, and the present one, brother Ahmed Akode. And as I've said, Allah will guide all of us. We put all these three perspectives we want together.
Next question, so we can wrap up. Next question. Wa alaikum salam.
Hello. Yeah, better. Well, thank you very much for giving us a little bit of the summary of the history. My question actually is almost in line with what the last brother asked. And as we await your this history being put together, I'm sure it's going to be a very good read. May Allah makes it easy for us. But I just want to ask about the past. When you were talking about how you eventually generated funds, you had to get low. So I want you to just briefly expatiate on when this land was bought. Was the money generated within the members at the time, or was it a loan that was gotten? Then also when the structure for the building was built, the smaller one, before it became expanded again, when you realize that more members. And the reason why I'm asking is hopefully this can guide us with the strategy of how we can go ahead to raise funds to build this community even bigger and better for the future. Assalamu alaikum.
That's a very beautiful question. Thank you. Number one, I remember serving on the planning committee through so many of this. And one of the things that we did then, number one, is to really, as funding is concerned, we look among ourselves, but at the same time, we are blessed with some people that we are able to reach out to. Like we are able to reach out to Akim Oladino. He was very instrumental in this masjid. Single-handedly, he gave us a lot of money. Everything we contributed, I think Alaji's money is about 50% of the other contribute. $450,000 he gave to this masjid at that time. Okay, and look at $450,000 then. This money is more like about 80 or 90% of what we spent here. We reach out to him. So is Case Lawal at that time. Still silently, we still have Kamal Lawal, who is always giving to this masjid. Therefore, those are the people that we counted on. We think the masjid itself will be Al-Ampadi. The American contributor will really to that $10,000, so they believe in the mosque. That needs to change. That needs to change. That needs to change. We can do better, a whole lot better. However, in one of the presentations we heard from Dr. Lawal, we need to really tap into all the three sources of funding. First one is among ourselves. Second one is from private donor, which we do get once a while. And the third one is governmental fund. And we need to really be ready to hire people who write fund, okay, so they can write the grant for fund with the government. There is some government money out there that we are not tapping it. That's it.
Any other question?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Very essential. Briefly, yeah. We the late North American Islamic Association, where we joined them, we were enabled to borrow some money too, which we were paying back. All those are documents. And we borrowed, when we went to buy this land, it cost us about 40,000. So we struggled within ourselves with a postal code number. Your name is there, code number 1, number 2, you know who you are, to be transferred. We were able to collect some money for ourselves. We are not even enough to get in that 40,000. We borrowed about 10,000 from IGA. We pay them back. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We give thanks to our elders. Alájọ àti pé ọlọ́run àgbègbè ọ̀fun àwọn tí a bẹ́ àbúrò lẹ́yìn ọlọ́run afẹ́rẹ́ nàìjíríà àti àtọ́pẹ́lẹ́. What Brother Sabu said and Dr. Rahman picked back on, I want us to be specific. This could come out of the interaction of elders and the MBF event that we have in 2021. Once and for all, let's have history and record committee for this masjid. Those are the body that's going to be dealing with I need history, I need the archiving. Because if you don't do that, I think OJ, you can accept this. We've had this conversation in the past. But when we have conversation and it's not implemented, it becomes just a game. So the job now is, Imam is here, representing Surah Council, Dr. Abraham is here, the Chief Surah Council and the Board of Trustees. Please put your head together and pass them out away for us. Sound letters.
Right, so I was not going to speak, but I don't want to miss the opportunity. Thank you again, our elders, for sharing with us. We have listened to you, we have benefited from you, right? But every time I look at this, the elders committee, I also look at you as people that expect a lot from us, or people that we should be giving back to. In some 5 years to come, we will last year our lives, right? You will not be as energized as you are today. That's a fact. So how can we, those of us here, those of us that are still more energized, we still have the energy, how can we help you so that when you are too tired to do what you are doing today, but you are still alive, what can we do? How can we help you? What can this community do to appreciate and not make you a liability and not make you a burden on us? What can we do to help you, sir? That's number one. Number two, a lot of people talk about documenting the history, documenting this, having archives, having committees, right? In my capacity as the chairman board of trustees of the National Council, I had the opportunity of helping to launch a book written by one Professor Rasak Oladejo in Nigeria. The title of the book is Muslim in Yoruba Land. Muslim in Yoruba Land. So the book was written to cover the history of Muslims in Yoruba Land, talking about education, talking about culture and religion, right? And we ended up launching that book, right, to raise money. Students of history that are attending this event today will be buying your books, the books you have written, you have drafted for us today in many years. You could commercialize this. So it is not really about creating an archive somewhere. There are facts and conflicting facts. We're hearing out of the story. And Dr. Ron said, if we spend the whole day here, we'll not remember everything. But if we make an attempt to say, look, we have people in the educational industry here, we have people that are retired here, we want to make sure that we correct this, we correctly document this, and then commercialize this, that your grandchildren and great-grandchildren will be able to know what you did and what other people did, right? When we are not around, that will also go a long way to helping us. The third one I struggle with here, I struggle with striking the balance between, my age group. We sometimes feel like we need to also reject ourselves, right? It's time to move on. It's time to let others. It's time to let you drown. Then we also look at the next generation behind us are like, I want to share you. It's time for our recording to share. So we are very quickly, quickly passing to the next generation. And I think as we are trying to do that, which is good, we should be careful not to lose the relevance. When you bring up a baton, right? We have to be careful that the elders have a role to play in the leadership of this community. You have a role and we are playing that role. The goal should not be we should retire the elders quickly. We should reduce your role. We should give you rules that are very strategic and relevant. We should have access to you when we need you and not just say they are good for nothing, no offense. So we have to be careful. Also, those of us that are thinking, okay, I don't want to do that by deal because I think we're against you, right? And we are thinking we are acting like that. We should be careful not to, without disrupting the need to bring others on. I've been around 24 years. I'm hearing some of these things for the first time today. I would say I know the issue of the enemy, but I'm hearing some things for the first time here today. That shows the need for me to be around. That shows the need for us to continue to, dialogue and still make sure that we stay connected without disrupting ourselves. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Masha. God will continue to God will continue to increase you in wisdom because the three questions that you put on the table are the questions that we, sitting down every single time that we wrestle with, every single time. And that's why the topic is the topic we selected to talk about. The first one you ask is, how can we, when we get to some certain age, how can we plan for the future? If you look, yes, for now because but now about 30 okay, are you with me? How can we plan for the future for those of us that we will get to that age? We need to. And it cannot be answered here. It's just something that you just put this question out right now to where the board of trustees, along with the shura, along with the executive, we need to form a committee to address that. But I can share some thought with you. The thought will be that we need to have a very strong retirement plan in place or committee, and it will be part of that generational thinkers we are talking about. How do we bring all the diverse group in the masjid to try to determine what will be the need for each of the group and see how we can take action on the need of each of those groups. We will be willing to serve when that committee is formed because our land will comparable my need. The second question is, how can we monetize the history of this masjid? We have to start somewhere. But they are beautiful questions that we should not take the time to answer today. But it's a question that should be well noted. And the last one of your question is, the succession, the building of the succession plan. It's already in place, we just don't pay attention to it. And let me kind of show you that picture. The only place that you don't see elders forum playing a role is in the executive. Elders forum plays a role in any of the committee that is out there. And every single person to jáde from elders forum, they don't go there to represent themselves, they go there to represent elders forum. And we tell them, when you get there, let them know that you are representing elders forum. If you look at the Shura, you have our members in there representing elders forum. When you look at the board of trustees, you have Dr. Rahman there that he will tell you anytime you finish having meeting, he's communicating, giving us feedback of that meeting, representing elders forum. And anywhere he thinks that our involvement will help, he brings us in to say, listen, I think you pay and struggle for me tonight. Larry, no sure if we were more Cambodian, like I do from the Lagbaga, so we can help the Masjid. The Shura, we have Brother Kazim in the Shura committee. Therefore, elders are not really completely withdrawn, but at the same time, we are withdrawing so we can grow other groups. And I understand for people like you, for serving the community for 24 years, it's not a matter of your age, Masha. You belong to the elders room. Because you have already done it well in this community. And God will continue to bless you. You have not stopped. Even you served 24, you served about 20 years ago, or 18 years ago. You have not stopped. Many of your colleagues, we have all served, all continue to serve, and iṣẹ́ mọ́sídìí yóò tó nǹkan tó yẹ ní jẹ́ lọ sinmi díẹ̀ nígbà tó bá ṣàkùn wà lè kó iṣẹ́ mi ni tó bá executive. Therefore, the way to answer the next question to you right there is we continue to encourage. Encouragement, we need to continue encouraging the next generation. First of all, we need to plan what constitutes the next generation. What age group, and the next generation? What is the next group to after that group? And then sit down to see how can we attract them back into the masjid. It's a lot of work to do, but we need to start doing it. Because we need to get them back here. And whatever that we can do, we'll be back from it.
Yeah, thank you, that is a very, very good question. It's a thought-provoking, question too, because usually we kind of focus on the coming generation, and we don't, not consciously, but we don't pay too much attention to the older generation. And that is something for all of us to think about because, so as we continue to think about how to take care of, the kids, the young ones, buy things for them, playground and things like that, we need to be thinking about, the next step for every one of us, which is getting old, and what are the things, we need to cater to the needs of the older ones too. So this is a go beyond just these meetings here. We will, I would like everybody to incorporate it in their thinking so that we can plan for everybody. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, I think we are coming to the end of this session, but I have a comment to make. And the thing is this: I'm going to appeal to everyone. And this is an issue that has been bothering some of us, particularly elders. You see, the problem is this, because we try to look at causes of some of the
some of the hurdles that we have to, or necessary hurdles that we have to scale through to be able to get things done. And that is the injuries. I will relate it to a comment that I had from somebody a couple of days ago. The person we were discussing, and then I overheard him say, ṣé Jẹ̀bú máa gbà fún Ìbàdàn ni? Ṣé Ìbàdàn máa gbà fún Jẹ̀bú ni? I looked at it and said, no, this is a serious thing, I'm telling you, because that's the mentality. Let's don't be clear with ourselves. Let's address the issue. One day, Diko is from Abeokuta. The person was looking at me. So these are the issue of polarization. I believe that is not a way for that kind of a thing. One, níṣẹ́ máa dàgbọ́ ọmọ tí èmi àti èmi bàbá ń bì, àwa ni bàbá ara wa, àwa ni ìyá ara wa. Then why are we seeing each other being different? Even when we speak the same language. Let's put all those tools, let's throw it to the dustbin. Let's see ourselves as being here. Otherwise, give me generational thing tí àwọn families tó ń discuss lẹ́nkàn that okay. So my appeal to everybody is let's look at whatever it takes for everybody to participate, to do his own part, to discharge our responsibilities as women. This has nothing to do with Shagaru, or has nothing to do with Ijebubu or Ijebumishi or anywhere. No, it's not. Let's see ourselves as one, and that the goal is one, or the goal will get things done as cross. Thank you. Yeah.
So, only our TTY will be helpful. So, everybody here, if you have anything to give to TTY, please donate generously. Okay. What donation? We can announce me, so. So please, attention please. Just a few minutes, inshallah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Astaghfirullah. Alhamdulillah, I want to thank myself for this perspective. It's a very, very good insight. And that insight was actually the fear that brought about the suggestion of the presentation that we're having today. It was that very fear. The fear of secession. The fear of the fact that we are not thinking about secession based on the fact that any one of us knows when we will leave this world. But at least we have the fear that and I believe I will be able to achieve, to be able to do what is right for them. From what I can remember, there has been many people that have spread jihad in this community for the sake of Allah. They did it for Allah's sake. They did it for themselves. And they people for the community, that those that hasn't even left Nigeria today, if they too will meet it. Just like those who are in between. So that fear of succession is what the elders are just battling with, worrying with, that people are not going to personalize what you will down the road. Because the intention of those who planted the seed was not to personalize. The intention of those that planted the seed was actually sake of Allah, sake of developing our people, sake of helping others so that they can be a part. And that way to be able to grow the community. Now, I can tell you nobody has a roadmap, a clear roadmap on how to be able to achieve these things. No. But insofar as we continue with that succession, to fear Allah, to know that you are not doing you, among dancing, Shayo. That boy is your ordinary brother. You call him, let me teach you, when you take your position at the same time, you will not do this to be able to show it will be one day. It will do everything you can. We do this, we do this. As a matter of fact, he was talked to at one time that in he was promising, inshallah, we're going to be bad. They're talking about day is coming. Can you imagine that? And he's not doing it for some reason. So, I know not. But insofar as we all have that sake of Allah, sake of building community, and not personalizing things, not saying that this is our own. There is nothing that our own for Allah. And that's what I just want to try to. We never have a roadmap. May Allah guide us.
So inshallah, we're going to move to the next session. And before that, we do have a vote of thanks to show an appreciation to our leaders, our elders, by Brother Ibrahim, Sulaiman Ibrahim, to come and give a vote of thanks, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We are willing to do the milestone. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. I'm very grateful to hear this morning, to hear this history and all the information that some of us may not know, we don't know. So, on behalf of MBF Planning Committee, the members, we appreciate your commitment, contribution, and insight into our past, present, and future of this community and the young generation to come. So, in that, we are presenting this first speaking, Masjid-ul, in appreciation of your commitment and contribution to the 2021's Main Brothers Father MBF Summit in Lesotho, Texas. Thank you very much, sir. So I'm not going to read this again. It's the same thing for the Jamiru. Thank you, sir. Dr. Order Nuruddin Nawar. Thank you, sir. Very good. That's a lot. Okay. Okay. Elder Abdurrashid Animation. Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much, our elders. Jazakumullah khair. Takbir. 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 Alhamdulillah.
So inshallah, the next session is talking about the health and mental health. You know, we all went through the pandemic. There's a lot of mental stress that comes with that. And the person that will be leading that discussion is going to be our own brother, Brother Shala Oyewuwo, as well as our doctor, Dr. Bolagiwa, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. I haven't been in here since, I don't know, pre-COVID, so assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah, I know we just finished up a session. I arrived in the middle of that session, and if that session and how deeply thought through it was is how anything else has been going this weekend, then I am blessed to know that inshallah MBF has been a success thus far.